A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about curses of the Nagas and its effects on childlessness. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments and suggestions there. If you haven't subscribed to our channels, please do. And remember to press the bell icon so with that you can get the updates ASAP. Okay, so now children, when we talk of just the word mention of it, brings a lot of happiness in our hearts. We love those bubbly ones around and we would love to protect the shy ones. So not having children in many cases for most couple becomes a very painful event. Sometimes it can be very well seen in our charts from the fifth household, and many a times you will find that when one has done some problems or one has created some certain issues to the Nagas, there is a possibility that they can curse us, they can reflect a lot of our negative energy back to us, and in the lineage you can see a lot of problems due to this curse of the Nagas reflecting in our D7 and our Rasi chart. In that case, how do we see that? Well, in that case, we need to consider Rahu. Rahu signifies the Nagas in our chart. In fact, Rahu, Ketu, both of them signify. What more, Rahu and Ketu also tell us as to what things that we have done, but that's a very intricate kind of a thing that can be seen only from the D7 and also the D12, saying the problem that is running in the lineage, but majorly when associated with the fifth house. In that case, such Rahu can bring in problems in childbearing. Now, one thing we must all understand, Rahu in the fifth house is great as far as having lots of name, fame is concerned. It brings us to a public platform, many a times to an international platform, where people love the work that we do. People are very attracted towards us because the fifth house talks about attraction on a public platform, and it also talks about the charisma one has. So one, Rahu, and we know, has a lot of charisma. Rahu also has a lot of hypnotism about it. So that fifth house reflects all of it. But the Jeev Karaka is the one that is always hampered by these malefics, be it any malefic, Saturn, Sun, Mars, and Rahu Ketu. So here we see that the Jeev Karaka Rahu affects is that of the fifth house, that of children. And if the fifth lord is also under the aspect, under the effect of Rahu, in that case, it becomes very severe. So let us see as to how it can affect us. Well, it can delay children, especially if Saturn is also associated, then it can to a certain extent deny children. If one does have children, it will be through artificial means or after a lot of prolonged puja. It could come as a blessing from someone very unknown, very elderly, who would be able to see to the heart of the problem. Otherwise, I've often seen that such people may suffer from childlessness to a great degree. But I would also here state very categorically that these are very successful people in their own journal. So let's take a chart of a very known personality. Well, not a known personality here, this person, but this person has made a name for himself in his own area, own genre, and is well known for his work that he does. as this Rahu is very strong in his chart, in his fifth house, in his Aslesha Nakshatra, it confers to him a lot of intelligence. Not only does it give him intelligence, it gives him a viability on a number of uh, areas, and also good wealth, because Aslesha Nakshatra has the ability to do that. And that too, fifth Rahu also aspects the ascendant, makes a person great at lot of research. However, this Rahu is very much afflicting the fifth house Jiva, that is the children. More so, the moon, which is the lord of the fifth house, is placed in sixth from itself. And as I have done a video on the which are the what, how do we read a chart, how do we delineate a particular house, we know that as per Uttar Kalamrita as well as Faldipika, a planet which is placed in the 6, 8, 12 from its own house does not help the house. So we know that this planet is less likely to help the person concerned. And in terms of children. So this person, and now let's take the D7. When we look into the D7 of this person, we will see that again, Rahu is in the fifth house, and what more, the Rahu Ketu axis is also affecting the fifth lord of the D7, which is Mercury. And Moon, which is the lord of the fifth house of the D1 chart, is under the Krura or the cruel influence of Sun. So this is one chart. Now the second chart that we take, and now the child that this person did have a child, and that's a very interesting story, because this person had a child from due to the blessings of the Nagas, and this person had the child when a priest from a very small village told him what to do. So sometimes unknown remedial measures do help you in such cases. In Narendra Modi's chart, we see that fifth house is being occupied by Rahu. This Rahu is occupying the fifth house alone, so it acts like Jupiter. Now, we need to understand two things. Here, the fifth house having Rahu gives him international name and fame, because if we take into account the sign here is Pisces, which brings in a lot of name and fame. Again, when we talk about the fifth house, this fifth house shows a great deal of intelligence for him, and also spiritual energy, as again the Pisces sign talks about spiritual energy. The Jiva Karaka, as I told you, gets hampered. So it's a known fact that he doesn't have children. Again, when we talk about the Jupiter, which is Karaka for children, is also under the aspect of Saturn and Mars. Here we can see that the fifth house, fifth lord, and the Karaka, all three are afflicted. We need to check it again in the D7. So we take up the D7. In the D7 chart, we see that the fifth lord is again in a very strong Pap Kartari. Who is the fifth lord here? Again, Jupiter. Jupiter is sitting in its own house, but it is in a strong Pap Kartari, and it is with a malefic Sun. The Sun is the Lagna lord of the D7 and is important, but Sun again is also in a Pap Kartari. So we see that the Karaka of the fifth house, we see that fifth lord, and we see the Lagna lord of the D7 are all under pressure. What more? Again, the Lagna of the D7 is aspected by Saturn and Mars. And we understand that there is a very strong yoga of not having children in their charts. So this is attributed to, when Rahu specifically is present, it is attributed to the problems relating to the Naga doshas. There are a lot of remedies of the Naga doshas, but remedial measures are custom made for each chart, and we should understand that what is good for gander does not have to fit the geese. Till we meet with you again, stay safe.
Please hit the
Thank
bell
you.
icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.